Alright y'all, me and my wife went out fishing yesterday and tore the reds up. She tore the reds up. I had kind of a crappy day. She caught like 25 reds in about 6 hours from the kayak. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to bring you a catch, clean, and cook on one of the redfish. Just going to make it simple. Going to show you a few tricks on cleaning the redfish, some meat to look for when you catch them. I got 4 of them in the cooler here. What I'm going to do is clean the small one for you. All I'm using is a Rapala knife. This is, you can buy this at Walmart, Bass Pro. I actually bought this at Bass Pro, and get you a little closer to it. In Destin, this thing was like $16. I actually have another bigger Rapala. This is a 6-inch. The other one I think is an 8 or a 9. Works a little better on the bigger redfish, the longer blade, flexible blade. I love the flexible blade fillet knives. Keep it sharp. This is like a $2 sharpener, and it works great for these really thin flexible blade knives. Now I'm going to show you the tricks to getting through these redfish easily and keeping your knife sharp and when to sharpen it. There's not many knives out there that you're not going to have to sharpen if you fillet 6-8 fish in a row. Like I said, this is just stainless steel blade. I don't know what brand of stainless it is, but like I say, just for 16 bucks you can't beat a Rapala knife. I'm not advertising for them or anything of that nature. I'm just saying for $16, I'm a cheap guy. I'm not going to go out and spend $60 on a fillet knife. That's just not me. But anyways, I'm going to pull one of these redfish out of the cooler here, get it up on the table. The table's already dirty because I've already been cleaning some fish, and sorry about that, but that's just the way it is. Once we get it clean, then we'll get it cooked. Alright y'all, let's get after it. He is right at 15 inches. He's a little over. He's about 15 1/4. And slot limit here in South Carolina, 15 to 23. And you can only keep a limit of 2 per person. Used to be 3, but they changed it last year. Redfish got these tough scales. You can see them all over my fillet table here. Like I said, sorry the table's dirty, but I've already been cleaning some. What you want to do, get up here by the head. I come in from underside of the scales like this, and just start an incision up to the top of his head. You'll feel the hard spot where you can go. Then I just make an incision underneath this fin right here. I just bring it all the way down. All the way down to the belly. Let me go put my dogs up. Quick. Alright, I'm back. That didn't take long. Flip it over. I do the same thing on the other side. Try to get where you can see it. Come in up underneath the scales. If you try to come across them, I mean, you can cut them, but the more scales you come across that knife edge, the duller it's going to get. So to make that first incision, just go sideways with the scales, get the knife tip under there, and then make sure you don't cut your thumb. That's the main thing. I come up underneath this fin, straight down to the belly. Now, let me turn the camera around and get you a better view. Now we just come in here where we had that incision here, and we just come down the backbone with the tip of that knife all the way to the tail. And once I get closer to the tail, make sure you keep them scales off as much as you can. I go all the way through. You'll feel the backbone, a little bit of downward pressure, then out the back of the blade, or back of the tail. Super simple. Then I flip him over and I do the other side because he's a whole lot easier to come in here and do this with when he's whole. Like I say, down that backbone, you can feel it. Keep that blade as clear as possible from the redfish. I mean from the scale, sorry. Come in here, feel that backbone. All the way out the tail. Make sure you don't cut yourself. Fillet knives are meant to be razor sharp. Napkin, Make sure them scales are off. Then just start peeling him away using the tip of this knife. And you'll feel them bones. Just run the blade down the bone. Once you get on the other side, just fillet it out the other side. Alright, now there's a set of ribs right here. This is where it gets tough. There's no real way to learn or get a good feel for them ribs. I just take that tip of that blade and let it glide over the ribs. Sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's not. This is where you'll mess meat up on these fish. There's our fillet. Right there, looks like I left some meat, which I did leave a little bit, but most of that will get cut away anyways. That's rib bone right there. Then we flip our fish over, get the scale off of him. Come down that. Okay, you'll feel that backbone with the tip of that knife. On the other side of the backbone, same way. And you can hear me hitting them ribs. Like I said, and that's where you'll mess up at, is trying to get on the other side of this rib right here. And through. Be careful you don't cut that palm of your hand. Get on the other side of them ribs right here, you see them? We done a little better on this side. And it's a little bit easier with a bigger red. Just looks like you're wasting more fish when you do it on a bigger red. But you can see we got right up against, if I can grab him, he's slick. We got right up against that bone right there. Filleted him off. Alright, before we skin him, a little bit better. Here's what we're looking for. This is off of a bigger redfish. This is the throat. See how much meat is in the throat of that redfish? And that's good meat. I don't scale it or nothing. I'm just going to batter it and fry this. The scales will come off if you try to eat them. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a fork and pick this meat off and eat it that way. And this is really good meat. Never done a small one trying to get the throat out like this. But it's not hard at all on a bigger one. You just come in here with your knife, make sure you don't cut your finger, and you'll be able to feel the bone. You want to avoid the bone in there. Cut out that side. Come over here. I come on the bottom side of this fin, and I just run my knife basically right up his throat. Come out this side here. He is slippery. I say, that's a 15-inch red, and that's a small throat piece. That's off of a 20-inch redfish right there. So, pretty simple to clean. Main thing to do when you clean, like I say, redfish, is keep them scales off as much as possible. Now, when we go to skin him here, you can cook redfish on the half shell easily. But we're going to cook both of these. Just batter them and fry them. We may pan sear one piece. I'm not 100% sure yet. Before I run my knife down to skin it, a few strokes through the sharpener to make sure it's good and sharp. Like I said, $16 knife, $2 sharpener. Works great. All right. Here's what I do to make it easy on me. I bring it over to the edge of my table. I just take my napkin and grab his tail because it helps hold it. And just see how easily that goes through there? We left very, get rid of that nasty ass napkin. Left very little meat on the skin. Almost no bloodline, a little bit down here, but I'm not worried about that part of it. Here's the other piece. Now, I'm not going to use the napkin. It's trying to slide away from me. That little napkin on the tail does help. Like I say, you're more or less, you're not cutting, you're just kind of pulling the skin portion of the redfish. Nice fillet. Little bit of bloodline, but it's a small fish. Yeah, might help if I show the camera. A little bit of bloodline, but like I say, it's a small fish. I'm not even going to cut that out of this one. Now, if that bloodline gets bigger, I got a bigger fillet in here. See this bigger fillet off a bigger red? Before I vacuum seal this down, I'm going to cut this bloodline out. So anyways, I still got to clean them all up real good, get scales, because there is some scales laid on there from where I cleaned them. All right, y'all, that's the portion of cleaning it. I'll show you some portion of cooking it, of catching it, if I already have it in this video, and we'll get to cooking it. All right, y'all, we are hooked up again. Gotta keep him out of that structure. A little bit of red. Get him in the boat. All right. Barely hooked too. Barely. All right, I cut the audio out on this section. This was a 20-inch redfish. Me and my wife already met our limit for the day of 4 for the both of us. So this redfish got let go and set free. All right, y'all. Try not to blast you with the sun in your face there. All right, you're ready to do this catch and cook outside here. I'm on my back porch. Thought about doing it while we were in Charleston yesterday, maybe on the back of the truck, but by the time 6-8 hours in a kayak, we was ready to go, ready to get home. So here's what we're gonna do. I have my redfish fillet, I have my redfish throat. The one you seen me clean, this is the fillet off the redfish you seen me clean. This is a throat off one of the bigger ones. That small one just wasn't enough meat to show you what I wanted to do with. We're gonna come in here, and I started using this last week, maybe 2 weeks ago, I'm not even sure. I done a squirrel catch and cook. So if you want to see that video, just check it out. Click into my page or click into my channel, hit like, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell if you want to see more videos like this. We're going to do a lot more catch and cooks this year. So I got my fillet on a napkin to help dry it out a little bit. It's going to go Mrs. Dash's on one side and then on that. I'm not too worried about going too heavy. Like I say, I keep calling it Mrs. Dash. This is just Dash garlic and herb, and it is really good. Like I say, I just tried it last week, and it's one of my favorite seasonings. What we got is a $18 Coleman butane grill. Runs off butane fuel. Man, I cannot speak. Runs off butane fuel. We're going to fire it up in just a second. There's our frying pan. And I come across this last week as well. This is Kentucky Colonel's seasoned flour. I keep calling it Kentucky Fried Chicken or KFC, but it just says Kentucky Colonel. It doesn't say KFC. You can get this at Publix, and it is really good. So we're going to fire this up. We're going to go with some olive oil in our pan. And this is just an old Folgers empty container. This is what I'm going to put my flour in to shake my fish around to batter my fish. And I'm just going dry fish in the batter straight into the grease. All right, just so you know what's going on, let me get everything rolling and we will get back into it. All right, y'all, first thing we want to do, fire up our grill. Probably want to see how it's doing. Okay, make sure that's engaged. And it's on. That was my mistake. You got to push that down right there to engage the butane fuel. And then that's your setting, minimum to max. We will leave it on max for a minute just to get it heated up. All right, she's already super hot. Shut that. A little bit of olive oil in there. Take our Kentucky Colonel seasoning, which I've already used, so it's already open. We don't need a ton because we're just doing a few pieces of fish. In the old Folgers container. Now you might be asking yourself, why am I using an old Folgers container? Because I am what you call a cheap fella. Now this guy here, he still has the scales on the back. So we're going to cook him last. In the bucket, just shake him up, get that batter and seasoning all over him. I'm about to smoke my olive oil, so I had to cut the temperature down. Careful using olive oil, it'll burn quicker than some other oils. Alright, y'all. There it is. We may need to cut him in half. Oh well, let's see what happens. Oh no, that'll be fine. I'm just going to take this guy and put him, while that's frying, I'm going to put him face down in the flour. I'm not going to flour the back side where the scales are, just that front side. Alright, it's been about 2 minutes on that side. Flip them on over. We're going to let it roll 2 or 3 minutes on that side. Then we're going to throw in that redfish collar. Alright, coming out with the redfish fillet. We've went about 2 minutes on the first side. I like my fish a little firm, a little crispier than most people, so I went about 4 minutes on the other side. And we'll see what it looks like here in just a second. If I don't splash grease on myself and hurt myself. It's pretty good, nice golden brown. Alright, now we got this redfish collar. Straight in the grease, face down, scale side up. Alright, we just flipped him. Alright y'all, I'm going to flip this redfish throat back over, meat side down, just to give it a little bit more time to cook. Oil was about to smoke out. I'm steadily over here adjusting the heat the wrong way. Look at that. Looks good. Alright. That's off. Butane's off. We're just going to have to let that sit there because this is plastic. We can't set it on the table. Good thing about it is I'm at the house, so cleanup will be easy. To make it authentic, we have got plastic silverware. And we even got a little salt and pepper. Little bit of salt. And all the pepper. I'm a pepper guy. Can't get enough pepper. Alright, y'all. That's the finished product. It looks really good. I'm telling you, if you want to do something fun, if you want to get out with your kids and have a really good time, and it doesn't cost a lot, go get you one of these Coleman grills. This was $18 at Walmart. That pan right there was $6 at Walmart. Of course, plastic silverware, nothing. Paper plates, they do cost a little bit now these days. But I'm doing this by myself on my back porch, and I still had a pretty good time doing it. I wish we would have done more stuff like this when my kids were younger. I mean, I don't want to pretend like we didn't do a lot of stuff together. We were baseball, football, soccer, whatever sport you can think of that you can travel to another state and go play in is what we were doing all the time. But I wish we would have spent more time hunting and fishing, cooking together. Like I said, it's just fun. It's something I've recently just got into. I really enjoy it. I really enjoy doing it with my boys and my wife. Like I say, hopefully this turns out really good. I know redfish is going to be good anyways, but I've never cooked it outside. This is the first time. But anyways, let's get the first taste test. There she is. Nice golden white. Golden outside, white on the inside. But that's good. That's the first time eating any fish with that. Let me get it. Kentucky Colonel seasoned flour. It is good, and you can't go wrong with Dash's garlic and herb either. All right, now for the redfish throat. I said you don't want to eat the bottom side. I left scales on, fin on. That's a pretty big fin with pretty big bones in it, so I don't plan on eating that. I'm not saying you can't. I don't want the bottom part that's got scale in it. Oh, that is good. Different texture than the fillet. Let y'all see it. It's kind of a stringy meat. It's got a different taste than the fillet. It is good. It is a real good taste. Like I say, if you're careful with it, it comes right off that skin. So you don't have to worry about eating scales. I did find a bone in it, but that's my fault. Man, that's good meat right there. Good stuff. Y'all eat fish fillets with the fork? I'm kind of barbaric. I think you need to eat fish and chicken and all that with your fingers. Using a fork to me is kind of dumb, but I don't claim to be a smart fella either. Man. Alright, y'all. I'm going to finish this fish, clean up my mess, go in the house, and actually cook a bunch more of this fish because I just got finished filleting a lot of them. I appreciate y'all coming along with me. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. I want to thank the Lord for being able to go out and do this, be able to harvest these fish. I'm getting ready to go in and make a great meal, and I want to thank Him for that. Thank Him for the wonderful time I had with my wife yesterday catching them. Remember, we will get back at you when we get back at it. Check you later.